up, everybody? This is Lisa Lozano with Global Fight Talk, and today we have a very special guest. We have Valerie Soto. Valerie, this year has been kind of crazy for you and every fighter for 2020 just because everything's been going on. I know I've seen you a few times at your gym that when I stopped by to get my back fixed by Mike Bailey.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what have you been up to since the pandemic, all this started. I know you had a few fights, but it fell through. So what's going on with Valerie Soto?
Man, just training and working. There's nothing much we could really do. We try to get a fight. People turn you down. Same old stuff, but just getting better, working on a lot of holes that I feel like I had and just really working on strength conditioning and getting stronger, since my body, like I'm still growing and getting older, so I've just really been focusing on putting more muscle on and just beating up some of the guys in the gym, really.
Now, do you think that having this shutdown has really helped you as a fighter to progress and work on things that you needed to work on? Do you think that that's a good thing?
Yes, I definitely think that it has helped me improve a lot of things because, we're not stressing about like, oh, we got a fight coming up, or just get to work on everything. We don't have to just game plan. We get to work on just everything and get better at everything. I mean, it's 50-50. It sucks because, a lot of the teammates won't come in, or, people my size, they won't. So now I just get beat up by my boyfriend and leave my mouth. So that, isn't always fun, but, since they're higher up there, it's been good work and really getting to focus on different transitions in jiu-jitsu and combining, my wrestling with my strikes. So it's been fun.
Well, I know that, like you said, your last fight, it fell through. And when we spoke, you have 5 fights under your belt as a pro. Where do you think, as far as your opponents go, are they getting harder because of your experience?
Yeah. So I feel like for me, I've never had an easy fight. I feel like, unfortunately, well, I don't say unfortunately, but I don't really get to pat my record like a lot of girls do. I feel like all my fights are hard, and I just feel like they're just getting harder.
Yeah.
Which it's fine with me, but never really had a easy fight, and they're just getting harder and harder, and I don't really have a choice, but it's okay. Like I like to bang. I'm tough, so it works out.
Well, being an MMA fighter as a female, it's so much easier to get looked at as far as going into the UFC. I know Dana White has the Contender Series where people can compete. It's almost like you're interviewing on the job, whether you're going to get hired or not.
Yeah.
Is that something that you think that you're going to see yourself doing in the future?
Yes, I get the call for the Contender or Ultimate Fighter, or whatever gets thrown my way. I know eventually I'll be in there. I see some of the girls in there and I'm like, how the hell are they in there? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna knock them. Like, they got there and I didn't. So, but there are some girls that I feel like, if they could get there, then I sure as hell should be able to get there.
Right. I know that Dana White is bringing back the Ultimate Fighter, or at least that's the rumor right now. I do like the Contender Series, but the only thing that has a disadvantage or a negative thing about is that you only have one female fighter on the whole card. That's just how it usually goes. I see that Dana's starting to put more female fights on the card versus just one out of the whole card. So he's putting like 2 in there, maybe 3 every now and then. But the great thing about the Ultimate Fighter is that you have all females and you guys are competing, which is great versus being on the Contender Series. Just have one female fighter on it, just one fight or whatnot. Now let's talk about your past experience. And one of the fight that always resonates with me is the fight that when you were an amateur and you fought against Desiree Yanis. Now Desiree's doing great. She
Yeah.
started, she was fighting on LFA, then Combate America. I think
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying it right. And now she just signed to Bellator. And you guys had a hell of a fight that night. You guys, it was back and forth, but you wound up taking the notch on that fight. Am I right? You did win that fight. Yeah. So what do you think about when you see your opponents going that far and you're still where you're at this moment?
Oh, I'm a hater.
Thanks for your honest. Thanks for your honesty. A lot of people would have been like, "Oh, that's great. Good for her." No, I'm a hater.
Well, we're really close friends. Like we talk to each other like every other day, and I am a hater, and I'll tell her and I'll tell my coaches, like, I worry too much about other people and where they're going instead of focusing on myself. And that is one thing during this pandemic that I feel like I'm working on. Like when she made it to Bellator, I was like, man, like, I should be there, whatever. But I've gotten that call and I had got injured. So I couldn't take that fight. But really, I'm young, so I'm not too worried about it. She's older than I am, and I am glad that she's there because she's told me like she doesn't have time to wait.
Right.
She's like 20, 28, 29, maybe 30. I don't remember, but she doesn't have time to keep waiting on people. She has to get there. She has to go, go, go. Me, I have so much time and I'm just starting, but I am jealous.
She said, I'm a hater.
I know that my opportunities are going to come for me, and, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. And I just got to hope that I get a fight soon or nothing closes down, and just keep, going in there and making a point and just walking these girls down. Like there's nothing else I could really do. I can't complain because it's not going to do anything for me. Like me stressing on it and worrying about other people isn't going to do anything for me.
So do you think but do you think that calling out certain females, like there's a lot of people, like a lot of guys do that on Twitter. They will call out a fighter and they will tag like Sean Shelby or Mick and Dana White, like, I want to fight this person. Do you feel like that's where you need to go to get there, or start making noise? Or did you ever think about that?
It's just not my personality, and I've never really thought about it just because it's not me. Like I'm more of like a bubbly, like smiling Terminator. Like I don't call people out. I just kind of just hope that they give me somebody and just go after it. But I don't know. I've never really thought about calling anybody out. There's nobody that I would think to call out. There's just so many females that, a lot of the girls that kind of left me behind, like they're on to bigger and better things, and I'm still kind of just here. Especially with this pandemic, I feel like it's put me back, but I've progressed as a fighter. But I'm just here, and they're just slowly rising, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of these females that are now on the UFC who got their shots on the Contender Series. It was because they kept tagging Dana, like, hey, I'm here, put me on. This is a last minute fight if you need it, or whatnot. Do you ever think like, hey, let me tag him in some of my workout videos, or let me tag him in one of my, fights, or just so that name can resonate with him,
Yeah. The only difference with that is like, so I've seen a lot of the girls that are in the UFC now and that were in the local scene. They all have a big following. I don't really have many followers. Nobody's really, and I don't want to say they're not interested, but I feel like, I don't have that look to where, I get all dressed up and post pictures and stuff like that. So I don't really have a big following like a lot of these girls. And the bigger the following, and then they tag them, it's like okay, that brings attention. They're like, okay, you know what? Let me finally look at this girl that keeps tagging me and everything, or but I need a bigger following. But I just
Valerie was like, I don't have that look and I don't have a following. Girl, you better start dressing up and like, hey Dana, what's up?
it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to do that as a female. I feel like my performance should prove that. Like Joanna, before she was up there, she didn't have to put herself out there and like post pictures and stuff like that. Like, she was known as a bad bitch. That's what she was known as. She was just a banger. But now, I mean, now she's posting pictures in her bikinis and stuff like that, which it's good for you. I guess it's just because I'm young and my parents were really strict, so I wasn't really comfortable with doing stuff like that. Like, I don't go out clubbing and stuff, so when I go to a club or anything, I just feel very uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm only like 22. I feel like a child. Like, I don't know.
So
different.
So that leads to my next question. Do you feel that the stigma that female fighters have, like you have to have a certain look, you have to be sexy, and it's not so much, their fight game is like you have to be marketable. Of course, you want to look good and want to, be a badass or, whatnot, and be skillful in your art. But do you think that that's a stigma? Like, I have to be sexy in order to get on a card and have a huge following and always dressing up and just doing certain things, and it takes away from your fight game.
Yeah, I definitely do think that that happens a lot. Unless you're like a Chris Cyborg or Joanna, like I said, if you go in there and just demolishing this girls, you'll turn heads. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of people just look at women just to market them, which it's great. It's just I don't have knowledge in that department, so I just kind of I do what I do and hope I get a call, get the call or get bigger and better fights. It's just, I don't know, man.
Well, Valerie, don't sell yourself too short, because you're a beautiful girl. So, who can fight. So I wouldn't sell yourself too short. I think you're just more shy than anything. So
yeah,
that's probably more what it is. So, you're training now, and Rafael Casillas is your boxing coach, and it's been your boxing coach from, for a very long time. And you're known as a striker. I love to watch, me as a former boxer, I love to see the striking. But you also have very great ground game. What do you prefer? Would you rather just stand and bang and where you're more comfortable, or are you okay wherever it goes?
Well, you see, it's crazy because I wrestled in high school. I placed third in the state of Texas, 6'8". So it was a legit bracket for me. It wasn't the easy side. And then I wrestled a little bit in college, and then I started training MMA, and I just fell in love with striking. Like, that's all I want to do. I don't really care to go to the ground unless I absolutely have to. But I just really I rather bang. Like, it's just my thing. Like, I rather get in a war. I should probably be better than that and just, mix it up a little bit, which is what we've been working on. Like, just a lot of feints, a lot of, just transitioning my wrestling into MMA, because it was hard for me to transition it because I wrestle like in a southpaw stance, and then I strike in an orthodox stance. So it was very hard for me to like transition that. Like, my brain was like confused.
But that's
I'd much rather strike.
Yeah, but that's a positive thing, because that means you can switch. You can go from southpaw to a orthodox stance if you wanted to, and just keep your opponent guessing. I think that's what a lot of MMA fighters do. That they switch stance a lot, and I don't know, maybe because it was wrestling, you always want to start with your strongest, your lead foot, and your lead leg, which is in your case, you're right. Your southpaw stance, which in boxing we will consider that southpaw, or whatever. But any fights coming up? I mean, is there anyone you want to fight in particular, or LFA is always putting on fights, and why have we not seen Valerie Soto on LFA?
No one's been offered. We try to fight for CFFC. Like I told you, we had that one girl that we try to get, and she told us that she only fought at 25, and so we agreed to that fight. We're like, all right, 25, and then she just said no. So we don't know what the situation was with that. We don't know if she was injured or if she didn't want to take it, or
She wasn't injured.
Hush.
I know the situation.
That's your boyfriend, by the way, in the background.
I mean, it's whatever, but
I'll talk shit for you. She wasn't injured.
He got your back, girl.
But I don't know. I know Raph's still looking out there and getting different options. So it's really whatever he says. He does everything. He's the one that's looking, and it's just hard, especially with the pandemic. Like, a lot of the girls don't want to fight because they're afraid of COVID, and I understand completely, but there's not many girls that are being too active right now. So
Texas is now back open as far as putting on fights. Yeah. And I heard that XKO should be back in January. That's the rumor. I know you fought for XKO plenty of times in the past. If you can't get an LFA, a Bellator, or other shots, would you want to keep active and still continue to fight for XKO?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if the money's right, and the promoting is good, then yes, I will definitely do it. But if I can't be picky, I can't sit here and ask for all this money if no one's giving, if no other opportunities are coming up. But I do feel that I'm worth a little more
money. Yeah.
More money.
She said, "Show me the money and I'll fight."
Yeah. But I can't be too picky. Like, Mike Raph has always told me, like, you can't be too picky, especially if we're not getting any fights. But a little side of me is like, a little more money.
A little bit more money. Definitely. I know we spoke earlier about you sparring, and there's really not too many girls that you get to spar with. So you spar with your boyfriend or the guys that are there at the gym. But I have seen pictures that other females that come in that you get to spar.
Yes.
So let's talk about them. I know one of them, I don't know if she's pro. Is it, what's her name? Caitlin?
Caitlin, not knocked out.
Yeah, she said knocked out.
I don't know how to say her name exactly.
Me neither. Yeah. Hey, girl, if she's watching.
She's an amateur, but she's fast, man. I haven't worked with her in a while, but I love her. I love her energy. She's a big goofball, just like me. But she's really, like, she wrestled in high school too. But of course, me and her both, we just rather bang.
Yeah.
So the last time we sparred, it was just me and her, and everyone was just watching us at the gym, and we were just going at it back and forth. She's really fast. But I hope I see her again soon, because it's been a minute. It really has.
Yeah.
But
I know there's a lot of girls here in the DFW area. I know Cheyenne Bays, she's out of Fortis, and she just, went to the Contender Series and got signed with the UFC. And then there's Jen, and there's Montana. Do you ever have an opportunity to spar those girls, or do you ever think like,
yeah. So,
I know you sparred Jen a lot. I know you guys work together a lot.
Jen is one of the main people that we work with during camps, whether I'm in camp or she's in camp. We reach out to each other and we, help each other. But I love Jen. She's a good partner for me. She's really strong. She's really good work. Montana, I haven't worked with her in a minute. But even when I did, she's really good work. She's just a lot taller and bigger than me, but I love working with her. She's really long.
Yeah. I've sparred a lot of the females here, and I think the only one that I haven't sparred was Jen. She was the only one that I never had the opportunity to spar, but I have sparred Montana, and man, her reach is mad crazy. She's like 6
She's
foot.
Good at keeping her distance.
She's like 6 foot, compared to me, and I'm only 5'1". And you and I've sparred, but I don't remember that. So you said.
Yeah, you don't remember, but it's okay. But it was before I started fighting. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a
That
very long
the-
time ago. So
It
that's
was
what I'm
the high
saying.
school Valerie.
Right. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't remember. But, you know, I've had opportunity to spar a lot of the females here. If I was still active, you and I would spar boxing only, obviously, but
Yeah.
definitely not active at all. But, you know, I just wanted to catch up to see what's been going on in your life, what's going on, Valerie, and hopefully, you know, maybe Dana White, Sean Shelby, Mick, or someone from LFA, or someone can see this and you can start, you know, promoting yourself. You know, I think a lot of the fighters who may or may not have managers, sometimes they get tired of promoting themselves, but you have to continue. Like, you have to continue to promote yourself if you want that fight and go to that next level. I've seen it a lot where a lot of fighters are not the one, like you said, to, you know, to talk crap, you know, to another person to get the fight. But, you know, sometimes that's what we have to do. You got to do, and you know, at the end of, after calling somebody out and say, hey, it's not personal, I just want to fight. I really like you, but I just want to fight. You know, I mean, maybe you can say, like, you know what, we're going to do a video. I'm going to record you and you're going to call out some girls. You're going to get all dolled up. We're going to have Rue do your hair. We're going to have Rue do your hair and makeup. And then you can start calling out girls.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just
kidding.
Sounds
like a plan.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. But, you know, like I said, I just wanted to catch up to see what was going on with Valerie Soto, you know, in your life. I know that your boyfriend as well, he fights. That's something we could talk about, and I'll have to interview him because I've never had an opportunity to interview him. So, you know, just to catch up with you guys.
He's all right.
Look at him. he was like, what's up?
I'm down to talk shit, so it's all good. She could be shy all she wants. I'll talk shit for the both of us. So you just tell me when you're ready.
Cody, come through here right quick. Come in. All right, what's going on? Yeah.
What's up?
She's like, okay, you know, I'll talk shit. Yeah. You know, we're definitely going to have to do an interview soon so you can have the opportunity to talk shit.
Absolutely. I'm so down. It has been, I mean, at this point, I've had like 4 fights back out on the time to get the contract going. So I feel like it's time for me I got to talk shit to people.
Well, you and I, yeah, definitely. You and I are going to have to get together, and so we could do an interview, and it's going to be a shit talking session.
All right. I'm down. I'm down for that.
Good. Well, Valerie, you know, before we wrap this interview up, is there any shout outs you want to give?
Oh, of course.
And hold on. You got to tell them your social media sites so you can get more followers.
Facebook is Valerie Soto. Instagram is Malija. That's really it. Twitter, Malija too. Just that's all it is. _.malija. I don't even remember it. Oh, anyways, this is why I don't have followers. Anyways, that's it. And then shout out to Cody, of course. He's my motivator. The days that I don't want to get my ass up and go to the gym, he's like, we gotta go. And I'm like, I don't want to get beat up by you and Levi today. But you know, I still get up and go. Shout out to Johnny, my coach Johnny, and then my coach Raphael. Raphael's a manager, coach, another father. Like I don't know.
He does it all. He does it all.
Yes. And then shout out to my strength conditioning coach Jason, getting me swole. And all my teammates. Shout out to you for giving me this opportunity to just be on your show, man. Like, I appreciate it. So
yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you on Global Fight Talk and just catching up. And hopefully by the time we do another interview, we're going to be, you know, doing some breaking news and a fight, hopefully. Like, Valerie Soto is going to be on the Contender Series. You know, we're going to speak that into existence, girl.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, you know what? Good luck to you in your future endeavors. I really hope that you do secure a fight in the future with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But for those who are watching, please make sure that you follow all of our social media sites. At Global Fight Talk. We only have one name, at Global Fight Talk, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you're going to catch this on at Global Fight Talk. And again, thanks for tuning in and push and play. And then until next time, we're out. Peace.
Bye.